The big dog at the welterweight division, and he gotta take a back seat and take that 60-40 or 70-30, wherever we give him.
If we fight, it's gonna be either 70-30, 80-20. Was that?
Man, I was when
is
I
that
said
posturing or what was that?
When did I say
that? You know, that was.
Yeah, I said it on my girl Instagram. What's going? But I was playing. Hey, man, ain't nobody taking no 80-20, 70-30. Yeah, I was playing. I was like, because I was like, it's gonna be 60-40, and I was like, yeah, he keep playing crazy. It's gonna be 70-30 or 80-20. But yeah, I was playing. Like, I wasn't serious about that, man. Like, people can't take jokes.
I was fooling y'all. Those was jokes. Woo!
Man, sit your ass down.
So what I do, YouTube? It's your boy King David in this thing, and I'm back at y'all again with another video. Okay, so before we get going on the video, man, y'all know what to do. Go ahead, hit the like button, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe one time for your boy, so we can continue to grow like we need to grow on this shit. You know what I mean? Alright, so without that out the window, man, y'all see what the title of the video is, man. Derrick James, bro. Derrick James, man. Oh my God, bro. Look, Errol Spence need to put a mute button on Derrick James. Derrick James do not need to speak on behalf of Errol Spence at all. He don't need to speak on Errol Spence's behalf at all, because every time he does, all he does is make Errol Spence look worse and worse. All Derrick James does is make Errol Spence look worse and worse, right? But don't take my word for it, man. Check out this interview that Derrick James did, and let's talk about it.
Errol, if the Bud fight can't go through,
I think he can fight whatever he wants. I have no idea. I mean, I don't know if the fight can go through or not. I don't know. I think it's a different negotiation now. I mean,
yeah.
Because you look at
yesterday's price, not today's price, kind of thing.
It's not today's price for real. It's like yesterday's price. It's not today's price.
So let's stop right there for a second, man. He says yesterday's price is not today's price, man. This is disgusting behavior, bro. Salute to my guy Bud Crawford beats Easy Root Spence, man. This is disgusting behavior by Derrick James, man. I mean, what the fuck, bro? Yesterday's price ain't today's price. It's always something new when it comes to a Bud Crawford fight, right? It ain't bad enough that Bud Crawford had to fight with no guarantee. It ain't bad enough that Bud Crawford got to fight with 35%. It ain't bad enough that Bud Crawford was getting no transparency up until the point he had to contest the no transparency on there. It ain't bad enough that Bud Crawford left his promoter that was paying him the most amount of money of all welterweights in order to cross over to the PBC side in order to make this fight with Errol Spence Jr. It ain't enough that Bud Crawford did all of those things. But now, yesterday's price ain't today's price. I mean, what are you saying? What more does Bud Crawford got to do in order to make this fight happen, Derrick James? And the fact is, if you think that this shit is funny, meaning this amuses you in some sort of way. But why? Like what? That would, like, nothing like this would amuse a guy that really wanted that fight. Like, this wouldn't be amusing for a guy that really wants to fight, right? It's almost like Errol Spence is auctioning, and his team is auctioning him off to the highest bidder. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like this is eBay or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And Bud is trying to put his bid in for the Errol Spence fight, you know, so he can win the grand prize of having the privilege of knocking Errol Spence the fuck out. It's almost like Errol Spence's eBay. And this shit is an auction for Errol Spence's head on a motherfucking spike. You know what I mean? Why is this funny? And how is yesterday's price? I mean, bro, like, it just continues to get worse and worse for Errol Spence and Team Errol Spence. I don't know how anybody could support this dude. I really don't. But let's keep on keeping on what Derrick James got to say and break down his dumb shit.
Going into one fight, you have this. Going to this fight, you sell this much. So this is who you really are. That was like something else. This is who you really are. Because there's nothing around you protecting you, and so this is who you really are. So you can't negotiate from that perspective. It's not even nothing to talk about. You take it or you just keep moving. So I mean, that was a bad move. That's all I got to say about that. Because you found out the truth.
Thanks, Derrick.
I'm confused, but didn't BLK Prime come out and say that the Crawford versus Avanesian numbers exceeded expectations? Didn't they? Somebody help me out if I'm wrong. Didn't BLK Prime come out and make this statement? So if BLK is saying that they exceeded expectations and they were able to pay Terrence Crawford $10 million, I'm trying to figure out how you can take information like that and come up with this conclusion. Derrick James, how do you take information about them exceeding expectations and then come up with this information as far as Bud gotta take it or leave it? Does that sound like a dude who wants to fight, man? Again, does this sound like a dude who wants to fight? I'm just really trying to figure this out. Bud was already taking the 35% split with no guarantee, which I may add, no fighter in the history of PBC has ever fought with no guarantee. Zero. Not Sean, not Danny, not Ugas. None of these dudes have fought with no guarantee. And then the 35%, which all of Errol Spence's previous opponents have gotten better than a 35% split. Mikey got 50-50. Ugas got 50-50. Danny and Sean got 60-40, but Bud Crawford got to take 35% in order to make this fight happen. Even though Crawford's name and credibility is superior to everyone that Errol Spence has been in the ring with thus far, even though he got a bigger name and sells more tickets than everybody I just named, Ugas, Sean Porter, right, Danny Garcia, he has to take less money than all of them? I mean, y'all got to make this shit make sense. But yet and still, on top of all those things, yesterday's price is not today's price. And you want Bud to take an even bigger concession in order to make this fight happen? You want Bud to take what, 30%, 20%? Bud got to take 10% with no guarantee and no transparency in order to make the fight happen. I thought Earl and Bud wanted the fight. I thought they were both wanted to fight equally, according to a lot of you Errol Spence fans, right? I thought it was equal. I thought Earl wanted to be the undisputed champion at welterweight. I thought he was gonna clean up his side of the street, and then he was gonna cross the side of the street, the Bud side, right? That's what a lot of you niggas say. He was gonna cross the street, the Bud side, and then he was gonna make the fight with Bud and collect that final belt. But in order to make that happen, what, Bud gotta take what, a 20%, what, 15% split? He gotta do that off net profit with no guarantee in order to make the fight with Errol Spence Jr. But Earl wants to fight though, right? Earl wants to fight though, right? You niggas that support Errol Spence, you make 0 sense. And Derrick James, he does this interview and all it does is make Errol Spence look even worse than he already does. Even worse than he already does. The nerve of this dude to say yesterday's price ain't today's price, knowing that Bud was taking a bullshit offer to begin with, right? And then to double down and make it seem like BLK Prime didn't exceed expectations when it came to a Terrence Bud Crawford versus Avanesian fight. I know a lot of these weird ass dudes want to pretend like they know what the numbers are and they got their quote unquote sources, but nobody released any official numbers. So how do you niggas know anything about these numbers? All we know is what BLK Prime is saying, right? And if you're calling BLK Prime a liar, if you're saying that BLK Prime is lying about these numbers or exceeding expectations, then how do we know PBC ain't been lying about all the numbers they've been putting out with Errol Spence and Ugas and all these numbers that they've been putting out, right? Via Mike Coppinger, none of their official numbers, right? How do we know that Errol Spence is a big star like what you niggas say he is, right? I mean, if we gonna play that game, we gotta play it on both sides. We can't just play it for Bud Crawford and then not play it for Errol Spence. We can't do that. I know that's what y'all want to do. I know that y'all would like to do that, but we can't do that. If we gonna do that, if we gonna call people liars, we might as well call everybody a liar, right? If BLK Prime is lying, then PBC lying. You know what I mean? Everybody lying. We can't just say BLK lying and PBC ain't lying. Everybody gotta be lying. You know what I mean? Y'all can't have it both ways. I know y'all want to have it both ways. I know you Errol Spence fanatics want to have it both ways, but you can't. And every single time you're going to try to have it both ways, your boy King David going to remind you that you can't. Right? But the bottom line is this at the end of the day, y'all. It seems that every single time we get closer to making this fight happen, there's always a new hurdle. There's always a new excuse. There's always a new rhyme or reason as to why the fight can't happen. And according to Derrick James, Team Errol Spence, yesterday's price ain't today's price, even though Bud Crawford was already taking the worst deal in boxing history, right? Even though Bud was already taking a horrible deal, right? Yesterday's price ain't today's price. Look, man, at the end of the day, bro, these dudes don't want to fight. They never wanted to fight. They never will want to fight. And the chances of this fight actually happening after that kind of statement are slim to none, man. But let me know what y'all think, man. Hit it up in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit that goddamn like button on your way out. But until next time, man, I'ma holler at y'all. Peace.